Welcome into the TexAgs Rewind presented by Specs. We're here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Nick Savage filling in for David Nunya. He'll be back with you on Monday. It's a bye week, so we all should get a little vacation time, right? Reese Nygren's with me. Cade Bickham's with me. Reese, your favorite part of the program?
I would say the final countdown. Just they always have good insight, and hearing their stories about like the game this past week was pretty cool to hear.
Cade, what about you?
I'll spread the wealth, and I'll say my favorite part was SEC Mike. I thought he was pretty awesome for the time that he was on.
I'll go with the Bro Hour, me and Richard. I don't even know if that's on the Rewind or not, but anyways, check it out. It came out yesterday that the SEC is going to announce the 3 permanent opponents for every SEC school and the 2026 conference opponents for each SEC school football. So I think we kind of have an idea, like we can safely assume we're going to get Texas every year, right?
I think that's a very safe assumption.
Yeah. Other 2, you would probably bet LSU is going to be one of them.
I feel very safe about LSU being the second permanent opponent. The third one's where it gets interesting.
Definitely.
Because you could have it be Arkansas. There's a historical tie there back to the days of the Southwest Conference. And of course, they've played annually up at AT&T Stadium up until this year. They've tried to make it a Southwest Classic. Remember, they were playing a non-conference matchup before Texas A&M joined the league back up again in Arlington. But that hasn't always felt like a rivalry to me, at least to New Aggies. It's been very, very one-sided, thankfully, in favor of the Aggies. A&M has only lost 1 game to Arkansas since they've joined the Southeastern Conference. So there's reason 1 for Arkansas to be a permanent opponent. Then there's the Missouri and Oklahoma ties, right? Because you were in the Big 12 with both of those schools. Granted, Texas A&M has been in the Southeastern Conference now for almost the same amount of time they had been in the Big 12.
Yep.
So it's not like those are 2 historic rivalries. Right now, I know Texas A&M and OU played some really, really good games in like 2009, 2010, 2011. I mean, you can think about Von Miller stop at the goal line in 2010. That's iconic. But to be completely honest with you, does Oklahoma move the needle for me? Not really. Like, I know that's a historical national brand. That's a blue blood. That's a traditional power. Mm-hmm. But as far as rivalries go, that one doesn't make sense. And I could say the same about Mizzou, but without the national powerhouse.
Yeah.
And the national championship trophies and all that goes with it. Then the other one that I've seen floated that doesn't really seem like a fit, but also something I don't think Aggies should turn their nose up at, is the Mississippi State angle.
Yeah. Tell us about it. How was the experience? Give us your thoughts on the game and just the biggest takeaways on a really, really big A&M win.
Yeah, it was pretty incredible experience. And, I told Notre Dame fans after the game, I would have said that even if the Aggies had lost, that was just kind of the cherry on top of it. It was such a great game, and A&M won the game the way they did at the end. We've seen so many of those games that end like that go against us. And I just had a lot of confidence on that 4th down play that we were going to find a way to do it. And obviously we did. And so that made it even more special. But what a great campus, and the fans the Notre Dame fans could not have been nicer. I mean, the whole experience was just over the top great. And if you ever have a chance, if A&M ever plays there again, I highly recommend finding a way to get there because it was unbelievable. We even had the guy in front of us go to the concession stand and came back with 2 waters and a pretzel for us. So, everybody that we ran into was just as nice as could be. You might want to go take pictures here. You probably want to go see this, and welcome to South Bend. And it was awesome. And then just the way that the game went. And, I think it started off poorly, about as poorly as a game could start off. And I was like, well, this really isn't how we wanted to start. And the momentum was completely on Notre Dame's side, and then it's a matter of playing catch-up, but at least you had basically a full game to catch up, and by halftime they had done that. Unfortunate that we didn't make the long field goal there before the half, but I think they showed that they were going to be in the game the rest of the way they were playing offensively. You were just going to have to make a few stops on defense to to be able to beat Notre Dame, and they did that. And they did it when they needed to make those stops. They made them.
Obviously, a big win for A&M. You talked a lot about it last week on what it would do for the perception of A&M, and they got it done. Whether it be, maybe you think the defense looked a little sloppy, but I mean, Marcel Reed, the receivers all played really well. Offense looked great. So just your thoughts on A&M's big win and what that does for them going forward.
Yeah, I mean, this legitimately might be the biggest win Texas A&M has had since they joined the SEC, other than perhaps the 2 wins over Alabama. I mean, I don't think that's too bold to say, and I think this is one that it could be the turning point for Coach Elko and his program. And just, I think, again, a lot of season left to play, but I think the Aggies took a huge step forward to kind of killing the 8-4 narrative, because I predicted it in the preseason, and I said if they win this game, they're going to the college football playoff. I still believe that based on what I've seen. I think now you just got to take care of business at home and split the remaining 4 road games, which would be Texas, LSU, Arkansas, and I believe Missouri. So I think A&M is fully capable, and I say split. I mean, possibly they could do even better in those 4 road games, but all you got to do, I think, is split those road games, and A&M's going to the college football playoff for the first time.
Well, Mike, I think the narrative is different behind this win, and we feel it here in College Station because you mentioned like the Alabama win a few years ago with Zach Calzada. Like that was like mid-season, so there was somewhat hope. They got off to a bad start, and they went on a little run after that win, so there was some hope there. But it feels like A&M's Orange Bowl win in 2020, like that was at the end of the season. There was, you could be hopeful for next year. It's been rare that A&M has won a big non-conference game this early in the season where we can talk about what you're mentioning, the college football playoff, or like a big bowl berth coming up in the in the end of the season. So, just do you feel that? Do you see where I'm coming from when I mean that, or when I say that?
Oh, for sure. Now, the only thing I could kind of complain about, if we even can, after a 3-0 start, is I wish A&M was still playing, because they're playing so hot right now.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the bye, but again, Auburn is playing a very tough, physical Oklahoma team this week. So in a sense, you could slice it that maybe it is an advantage for A&M to have we won't be coming off such an emotional win. We'll have time to recover. Meanwhile, Auburn will be a little bit banged up. So it could favor A&M certainly, but I don't know about you guys, but when my team's hot, I like them to keep on playing. And A&M is just, I don't think they've come close to the ceiling that this football program has. You mentioned the defense. I think they could play a lot better. And under Coach Elko, I got to have confidence that that's going to happen. But shout out Marcel Reed. I know you guys have not been a fan of the quarterback rankings all season. He is moving up the list. Even though I picked A&M to win this game, I did not have confidence in him to score that touchdown on 4th and goal. I really didn't. I've seen this story before. And again, Coach Elko, I think he's ripping that up. I think it's a new era for Texas A&M football.
If we want to circle back on the Freak of the Week talk for others, I think maybe you put him on that list of 3, but on the defense, he's that one. Cassius Howell has just been phenomenal, and he showed it again against Notre Dame. Maybe not in the sack number, but he was just so disruptive that whole game, dude. He is a freak. There were people behind me were like, who's this number 9 guy? He's just destroying us. And I mean, it was like he showed it out all night, and he's been great the whole year.
Mm-hmm. So that's a great pick.
He's so good.
I'll go with. If we're going to do that route, I'll go with Le'Veon. I think it's just he had the one game because they eased him in, but I think he showed you that. Look, if they'd have wanted to give it to him 15 times against UTSA and 15, 17 times against Utah State, he'd be among the leading rushers in college football. Those were 81 very difficult yards on Saturday night. And he went out and, he had some big ones. He had a 3rd and 12 run that earned him a field goal.
Mm-hmm.
He had those 3 on the goal line, and then he broke their hearts right here.
Broke them.
Or no, that's not it. No, one of those touchdowns run.
Broke their heart. He broke some helmets.
Yeah.
That's power, baby.
Right here.
Yeah,
that's
here it goes.
Power.
He broke your heart, Notre Dame. You and your Jeremiah Love. So, yeah, he went He went play for play, rep for rep with Jeremiah Love, who was outstanding as well.
Yeah, Jeremiah Love is very good.
He's tough.
That's mine.
So mine's actually, I can go on the defense side of the ball with Des Ricks because, I think he has played at a super high level. Having two corners really now that can lock guys up man to man and shut down number one receivers. I don't know that we really appreciate how critical that is to the defense and what it allows the defense to be able to do when you have two cornerbacks that you don't have to worry about protecting all the time. So, Des playing the way he's playing right now at such a high level, that's who's my freak of the week through week 3.
All right, Cade, close us out.
All right, everybody, like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and keep it locked in on TexAgs all weekend and all next week for previewing Auburn. Gig 'em.